to Peace Hotep, the Black Man is God. Today I'm talking about 10 Dreamcast games that I want to see on the upcoming Dreamcast Classic Mini. So let's go. And before we get to the top 10 that I really want to see, I'm going to get some honorable mentions out of the way. So here we go. First honorable mention I'm going to get out of the way is Virtual Tennis. I mean, I don't really like this game, but it's a Dreamcast classic. So you have to have that game as an honorable mention at least. But for me, I wouldn't want it on the system. Spawn and Demon's Hand. That is, for me, a Dreamcast classic. It's not like a top tier game. It could be a better game. That's why I put it on honorable mentions. But if you like Spawn, you're going to like that game. Another honorable mention is Space Channel 5. Like I said, I'm not into this game, but it is a Dreamcast classic, and I'm going to have to add that to the honorable mentions. Final honorable mention is Project Justice. It's a fighting game, good arcade game. There's just a lot of fighting games on this list. So let's continue. So this is the top 10 games that I want to see on the Dreamcast Classic Mini. Okay, starting off, number 10, the one I want to see, Zombie Revenge. Now this game is like it's a zombie game, but it's not like Resident Evil. It's more like an arcade game, and you'll see that with the Dreamcast, most of their games and most of the games that I picked are like really arcade games that came home. That could have been like the tagline for this system, bring the arcade home. All right, so Zombie Revenge, I really like that game. The next game, number 9, is going to be Jet Grind Radio. This one is not really an arcade game. This one is more of a home console game, but it really kind of pushed the boundaries with the graphical capability, and the graphics kind of still hold up to this day because the cell shaded kind of thing. It was the first kind of game that did that back in the day, and it was a real competition for the Tony Hawk series back then too. So yeah, Jet Grind Radio was a number 9. Number 8, Cannon Spike. Now you may be thinking like, what is this Cannon Spike? This is like a shooter, but it's like a shooter, but you use people. So it's crazy, like, like Galaga, like those kind of shooters, like, but it's with people, and it's like in 3D, so it's like crazy. It's like an online, not like online, but it's an arcade type game, and it's real crazy, but it's really fun, and you need to check that out. It should definitely be on the Dreamcast Classic Mini. All right. The next thing that should be on the Dreamcast Classic Mini is Soul Calibur. Come on. What a classic fighting game, Soul Calibur. All about the weapons. First time I seen Soul Calibur, I think I was at a movie theater or something, and then it was just like, it was arcade games there, and I was like, oh, this game is totally awesome. So I had to have it. And when I seen it on the Dreamcast, I was like, wow, they brought that home. So yeah, that's definitely the one that needs to be on the Dreamcast Classic Mini. The next one is Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 1 is good. It was the first one, but Sonic Adventure 2 is way better, in my opinion. So if you had to have one, you have to pick Sonic Adventure 2. But if you have enough room on the Dreamcast Mini, you could put 1 and 2. But I think if you had to only choose one, pick Sonic Adventure 2. So yeah. The next one is Vampire Chronicles. This game is so ill. It's like one of the best fighting games of all time. And I know Dreamcast was trying to step into the 3D gaming with this console, but they didn't need to do it with this one. This one was just so awesome. Like I said, an arcade game brought home, and then they just had every version of the arcade game, and they brought it home. So yeah, it was just ill, and I still ill to this day. I wish they would come up with a sequel, but they have not yet since. All right, what's the next? Daytona USA. This is one of the all-time greatest Dreamcast games, and of course it's an arcade game, and they brought it home, and it's a racing game. There's not much more you can really say about that. Come on, it's Daytona USA. And I think the best game on the Dreamcast, Power Stone 2. Power Stone 1 was a little bit hard to play, wrap my head around, but Power Stone 2 is like leaps and bounds ahead. You should not play Power Stone 1. Just avoid that game at all costs. Power Stone 2 should definitely be on there. Like I said, if you can have enough space to put 1 and 2 on there just for historical sake, put it on there, but Power Stone 2 is way better. And Dead or Alive 2, of course, you gotta have Dead or Alive 2. That's probably the game that made me think that the Dreamcast is a system that I need to have in my house. Because when I seen it, I was just like, this game is just beautiful. I mean, compared to games that I was playing at the time, like Smash Brothers, any other 3D game, it was just the most beautiful 3D game at the time when it came out. So, that's it. Dynamite Cop is probably my favorite game on the Dreamcast. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up. It's not a very pretty game. It could have came out for the Sega Saturn or whatever, but I just love the game. It's just like one of those arcade games that you go to the movie theaters and you just button mash and you play. It's just a game that's fun. And I think that's it. Yeah, that is my final game, the number one game that I want to see on the Dreamcast Classic Mini. You let me know what you think in the comments below. Peace, Hotep, the Black Man is God, and I'm out.